Welcome to Studio A, where we cover all things Sooner sports.
While many teams crashed and burned,
a few teams are going to spring back into action.
I'm your host, Darby McCormick, alongside our two analysts, Michael Thompson and Chris Holman, and this is Sooner Sports Pad.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by OU Health, proud to be Oklahoma's flagship academic health system.
While one tournament ends, another one is just about to begin for Sooner basketball. And after being dealt their first loss in 22 games, OU softball was certainly in for a battle in Baton Rouge. And speaking of battle, our two guests are preparing for their battle in the MPSF Championship. We have an exclusive interview with two OU men's gymnasts later in the show.
The highly anticipated Sweet 16 rematch between the Sooners and Gamecocks did not quite live up to the hype. Jenny Browncheck's squad found themselves down 10 right away before Zaya Van finally gets the Sooners on the board with this layup. Now, Leah Chavez would grab the ball and pull up in transition for 3 of her 21, trying to keep OU afloat.
But it only went downhill from there. Peyton Verhulst fouls to Nia Latson, and OU's down 19 points at the half. It kept spiraling for OU as South Carolina goes up by 29 late on. Reagan Beers checks out for the final time in her great career, and Verhulst caps off her time at OU with this bucket. Sooners lose 94-68, but the future looks very bright in Norman.
I want her to take away the hurt, the good, the positive, the bad, the learning opportunities. I want her just to continue to become a holistic person because she's really, really special. And she's only going to get better at basketball, and she's only going to become this more charismatic person that you're going to be able to see.
Now, despite this loss, this team is wrapping up another 25-win season, which is their 4th time in 5 seasons, as well as their 2nd straight Sweet 16 they've met.
Well, there's a lot to be excited about for the future of the program, and especially Aaliyah Chavez. She is the 2nd freshman to average 18 points, 4 assists, 3 boards, and less than 3 turnovers. Now, the only other freshman to do it, Paige Beckers. Now, if that's a sign for the future, the Sooners are in good hands.
They might be in good hands, but they are certainly going to miss Reagan Beers, who totaled just over 1,000 points and over 650 rebounds in her time as a Sooner.
Well, OU men's basketball has accepted an invitation to play in the College Basketball Crown Tournament in Las Vegas. The first round, OU will face Colorado, and Porter Moser is holding on to his faith ahead of the tournament.
My number one way that gets me through adversity is my faith in the Lord, that knowing that there's nothing he's going to give me I can't handle. And I trust in his path. And I had great guys in the locker room. I have great family, and I have great friends. And there's nothing more, and anybody that knows me, how hard I've driven for this program for 5 years in a transitional period.
Well, some will say this tournament means nothing, which, yes, they would not be wrong, but a $300,000 NIL paycheck doesn't suck either. Roger Denny is bringing back Porter Moser with the intention of providing more money to the program. Now, winning the crown would be a great start.
Michael, if they want to win the crown, they're going to have to do it without Dayton Forsythe. A Sooners group reported that he underwent ankle surgery last Wednesday and will be with the team in Las Vegas.
Well, the sun is out, allergies are high, good signs that spring practice is back for OU football. And with new people like early enrollment QB Bo Bentley practicing alongside John Mateer, one OU coach says the key to improvement is competition.
I love our room. I think the reason I love our room the most is because of their work ethic first and foremost. And having somebody like John is really, really good because John is in the building more than anybody. And so I can point to, hey, this is what it looks like at a high level. It's my job to create competition. It really is. I want to have the greatest position room in the entire country. I recruit to that. I want them to battle every single time. And I think they're doing a really good job of that.
Well, in case you have forgotten, OU's offense last year was not pretty. Their rushing offense finished 112th in the nation, but it could be looking up. Transferred Lloyd Avant has been getting a lot of reps, plus 4-star freshman Jonathan Hatton Jr. could provide a spark.
One thing that was a huge boost was hiring Jason Witten as the tight ends coach. They also brought in Rocky Beers and Hayden Hansen to help shore up the tight end room that has been a struggle for the Sooners the past few years.
Yeah, guys, those new additions are definitely on Sooner fans' radar for next season, but there's still a lot more Sooner sports to cover. When we come back after the break, we will have the latest on 4 Sooner teams and what fans can expect to see from them going forward. You do not want to go anywhere. Hello everyone and welcome back. We began our Diamond Sports by taking a trip to LSU where OU softball had a hard-fought battle trying to tame the Tigers.
It was certainly a battle, with the Sooners pulling out a 3-2 win in extra innings in Game 1. Game 2, however, was a different story. The Tigers took down the Sooners 3-1 to end OU's 22-game win streak and beat Oklahoma for the first time since 2015. However, the Sooners responded in Game 3, thanks in part to Kendall Wells and Isabella Emmerling, who combined for 3 runs and 5 RBIs, helping OU take down the Tigers 8-4. And head coach Patty Gasso knows that her team can still improve.
Kind of how we started, where they came out ready to go. Heavner's tough against us. We've got to just find ways to adjust our swings a bit. Find ways to put runners in scoring position. We got to keep pressing.
I know we're talking about pressing offensively, but let's talk about Miley Wachenio's pitching, spinning a complete game, the first Sooner this season to do so.
Well, Kendall Wells has been taking all of the headlines, but fellow catcher Isabella Emmerling has been bailing out Sooner softball. She took home co-SEC Player of the Week last week with 2 game-winning home runs in just 6 days.
One thing about this team is that they like to hit their home runs. But after that Game 2 loss against LSU, it was the first time this season that the Sooners haven't homered in consecutive games.
It's wild, Chris, but you might want to close your eyes, Sooner fans, because OU baseball crossed the Red River and were run-ruled 14-0 last Thursday. So let's move on to Friday, where Cam Johnson is on the mound and he's striking out 8 Longhorns. Now he would leave in the 6th with OU up 3-0, but Texas would rally and force extras. Now in the bottom of the 10th, a single into left field walks it off for the 4-3 Texas win. Next night, deja vu. OU's offense clicking early, and a Jason Walk RBI helps the Sooners to an eventual 3-0 lead. But we go to extras once again, and with the bases loaded, Texas walks it off 5-4, sweeping the series for the first time since 2014.
It seems as though OU baseball is in some sort of offensive purgatory, considering that in their last 7 games, they produced 4 or less runs.
Well, the bullpen has to step up. 27 free passes in 3 games is terrible. Cam Johnson held it down in Game 2, but someone has to help. Oklahoma had a huge opportunity to make a statement if they had just held on to a 3-run lead twice.
It's not going to get any easier for the Sooners, as their next series is against Alabama. The Crimson Tide has won their last 7 games, with 6 of those being series sweeps against, at the time, 5th-ranked Auburn and 18th-ranked Florida. And OU Women's Gymnastics had 6 gymnasts receive All-America honors from the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics Association. Addison Fada was named first team in the all-around and the vault. Faith Torres finished number 3 in the nation on the beam, also earning first team honors, while Mackenzie Eastep was first team on vault, along with second team on the floor. And head coach KJ Kindler knows her squad sets the bar for everybody else.
SEC competes at an incredibly high level. But Oklahoma joining the SEC, in particular in women's gymnastics, has elevated everyone in the SEC. I mean, we don't take anything for granted. We know anywhere on any day, especially in the SEC, you've got to be on your game. And never do we underestimate that. But if you look at the finals of SEC, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Without Oklahoma, you don't have that.
Now it's clear you can't have the top of the leaderboard without OU women's gymnastics. Seems like they're ready for the next steps of this postseason.
Awards are cool, but the only thing that KJ Kindler and her team care about is that national championship. Clearly, they have earned the title of number 1 overall seed, but it's time to prove that the SEC championship loss was just a fluke. Now that journey to repeat will begin in Lexington on Friday.
The Sooners have been dominant this season, but the one place that they have been far above the competition is on the vault, where they had 4 athletes recognized, with 3 of them receiving first-team honors.
Something in the water in Oklahoma gymnastics, Chris. Now on the men's side, there is a laundry list of award winners. Sasha Boganosuk was named MPSF Freshman of the Year, plus a regular season All-American on 2 events. Colby Aranda and Ignacio Yakers were named All-American on the pommel horse. Francisco Velez Belendez on still rings, Fuzzy Benes on vault, Nathan Roman on parallel bars, and finally, Kelton Christensen and Brandon Cepeda on horizontal bar.
The team is stacked with talent, which will be crucial as they begin their postseason. And while they've had recent success in the MPSF championship just last season, they haven't won a national championship since 2018.
Well, the same goes for the men and the women. It's nice to be rewarded with awards, but it means nothing without that national championship. Mark Williams' team knows what it's like to come up short, just like when they came in third last year. They won't want that to happen again.
Head coach Mark Williams will certainly have his squad ready. They will be gunning for their second straight MPSF championship and hope to springboard off that performance to reign in their 13th program national title.
Well, speaking of men's gymnastics, when we come back, we will have an exclusive live interview right here in the studio. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Welcome back as we welcome Ignacio Yockers and Brigham friend the way. Ignacio is a senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and competes in the all-around, and also earned an All-American title on pommel horse. Another all-arounder is Brigham, who is from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and is a senior who has contributed to the Sooners setting the nation's highest score against Nebraska. Chris, Michael?
Thanks, Darby, and thank you guys for joining us. And so I'll start off with a question for both of you guys. The MPSF championships are coming up this weekend. How are you guys preparing for that, and what mentality are you taking into that?
I think we're preparing for it just like every other meet we've done this season. The mentality is always to go in there and just compete against ourselves, you know, not worry about what the other teams are doing, just go out there and try to do our best.
I mean, quite frankly, I don't think it could have put it any better. I mean, when you go into any competition, at least for us, it's not necessarily going up against the other teams, especially right now since we're ranked number one. It's really just going in to beat ourselves, and ultimately that's what it's all about with trying to win the national championship title.
You compete under a legend in Mark Williams. What is it like competing under him with his success at the school?
I think that when you have someone like Mark, he's just seen everything, and he's coached so many guys, and so when you go out there to compete, it's not just, oh, it's just the group of us 20 guys, like the 20 guys on the team. It's like we also have like all these other people that he's coached in the past, and like we have this like legendary or like this program that's produced so much behind us to help us.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Ake said it quite well. I mean, I agree with that. With all the alumni, just knowing that they have we have their support behind us, and then also just our fans as well. But yeah, ultimately, with Mark's legacy is that so.
You come from Wyoming. You grew up with 8 siblings. Yes. What was that like, and was there any lessons that you could have taken growing up in such a big household that you took onto the mat?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, we would play with each other a lot, so I always had someone to hang out with. But I think one of the biggest things, like bringing it into like athletics and my sport, is like I am better with like interpersonal relationships and understanding like different people go like encounter different struggles and go through it differently, and you know, for each individual it's different, and so I think relating that to a team has been maybe easier for me, and you know, my teammates I've seen as more of my family, whereas like I already had a big family, so it wasn't a big change coming onto a big team of 20 guys. So
Ignacio, I've got a quick question for you. What was it like receiving All-America recognition for the pommel horse?
I think, you know, at the time, it didn't feel too good because I know like my personal standards, that wasn't like the best routine I could have done. But you know, it's cool that, you know, now at the gym I can walk in and we have like a wall of all people that have received All-American honors. So it's cool that like, oh, I get to be one of the like few people that has their name up, like displayed up in the gym. So that's nice.
Brigham, real quick, what is your favorite event?
I mean, it's a difficult one. Sometimes it changes depending on the day. But I think my most favorite event to compete is the floor exercise, just because like when you're competing, you get so much adrenaline. And on that event, like you want to be powerful, and so you can really use that to your benefit. And so I think it's got to be the floor exercise.
Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on Sooner Sports Pad. Good luck this weekend. We'll send it back to you, Darby.
Yes, thank you guys so much for your time. I'm sure all of Sooner Nation is super excited for your postseason to begin. When we come back, though, we will be talking about some other OU sports that I am sure all of you will love. Stick with us. Hello and welcome back. You know, kick to the to discuss some men's and women's tennis, and the women had a major SEC matchup in Norman.
If you haven't been paying attention to OU women's tennis, you are missing out. Number 1 Georgia came to town on Sunday, and the freshman duo of Ivelana Laskovic and Edith Mammadova were fantastic, winning their doubles match, but that wasn't it for Laskovic. She won her singles match 6-4 and getting the win for OU 4-1. That's 9 straight wins for the Sooners and their second ever over a top-ranked team.
OU men's tennis was on the road this weekend against Georgia and Florida. And on Friday, the Sooners made quick work of the Bulldogs with a 4-0 sweep. They followed that up with a trip to Gainesville, where after a 4-hour battle, OU eventually pulled out a 4-3 win, improving to 15-5 on the season.
Well, Twins men's gymnasts Colin and Tyler Flores are juniors from Mountain House, California, that both decided to commit to the Crimson and Cream. Sooner Sports Pad reporter Bella O'Neill Dooley has their story of family values that OU men's gymnastics carries.
Colin and Tyler Flores may share OU DNA, but they also share the same DNA.
Competing here for Oklahoma, it just makes it feel like it's nothing new.
The Flores twins built trust in each other tumbling around since they were 4, and that trust has only grown.
There's never a part where I doubt him, especially when we're doing routines, we're practicing together. It's always like, oh, I know he's going to do good.
Having him with me in Oklahoma just made it so much more enjoyable to get into the process of D1 gymnastics and just what OU does.
And head coach Mark Williams says the brotherly love the twins provide each other with pays off.
I think, there's a lot of times where Colin will walk over and talk to Tyler and help him, and vice versa, where it's not just the coaches that are doing the coaching. They are fun to work with. I can sometimes kind of joke around with one against the other, and they're usually pretty good about dealing with that, laughing along with me or at me, I'm not sure.
Tyler and Colin have stuck together since they've been in the womb together, and since they started gymnastics when they were 4. And just like me in this foam pit right now, they're stuck together at OU, and they've been loving it.
I really resonated with the guys here. I felt like I could see myself going to the school, practicing with these guys. They took me in as one of their own.
When I first came here, it was kind of hard for me to break out of my shell and actually want to approach these guys, just because I'm not really a social person, but it's awesome to see how close we've all become, and knowing that these guys have my back no matter what, and we're all just brothers.
The bond the team has is obvious. They went from being guys from all over the world to a family.
There's no other feeling than this. These guys on the team, they're basically my brothers.
With OU men's gymnastics, that brotherhood builds championships.
It's becoming a tradition where guys are always out to help one another, and if somebody's struggling, they're there to help pick them up and get them back in the fold where we all are working towards championships.
I'm Bella O'Neill Dooley, Sooner Sports Pad.
Thank you, Bella. That foam pit looked like a lot of fun, but don't go anywhere because everyone's favorite part of the show, Face Off, is next. Stick with us. Hello and welcome back. It's time for Face Off, where Michael and Chris will explain their picks and the audience will pick their winner. We'll start with Team of the Week.
I got to go with the team on the diamond that actually won. Patty Gasso's squad is my team of the week. They received a dose of reality, losing Game 2. Going through adversity is extremely important. It's better for Gasso's girls that their streak ends now rather than in June. Now, clinching this series starts another streak, and who knows when, if that'll end.
Michael, you're going to make a pick that bad with your family here? I don't know how you forgot about women's tennis. On Sunday, they took down the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs and have now won 9 matches in a row, which is their longest winning streak since the 2021-2022 season, when they finished as the national runner-up.
Chris taking a hit early. Now on to women's MVP. While one of your picks struck other players out, another knocked it out of the park in terms of records, of course. Chris, let's hear yours.
Darby, it has to be Miley Wachenio. In Game 3 against LSU, the sophomore threw a 149-pitch complete game and struck out 11 batters, helping the Sooners clinch the series against the Tigers. She gave LSU hitters the same treatment as Michael's pick, a swing and a miss.
Well, at least my family's in the crowd, Chris. Come on, though. You clearly don't do your research, because if you did, you would have seen that Domtilet Chiruto finished her 10,000 meter, that's 6 miles, in just over 32 minutes and 18 seconds. That's a 5:30 pace and a new school record. Chris, you probably couldn't even run 6 miles if you tried. I see why you were scared of bringing up this insane performance.
My goodness. Now let's hear your men's MVP. Well, one of you chose to stick in current OU players. Seems as though Michael took his pick to the pros.
Well, it was a pretty bad week for the Sooner men, just like Chris's pick, so I'm going to throw it over to the pros. Jake Irvin, Washington Nationals pitcher, he threw for 5 innings against the Cubs on Sunday, striking out 7, and he led the Nationals to a 6-3 win over the Cubs, which I heard made Sooner Sports Pad Hunter Cornejo weep in the corner as a lifelong Cubs fan.
I know baseball lost, but Cameron Johnson still looked good. He pitched game 2 for the Sooners, and he threw 5 innings, had 8 strikeouts, and he only allowed 1 hit and no runs. Over that series, he was one of the few bright spots for the Sooners in Austin.
We've now reached our final pick for Face Off, your what to watch for, which includes one anticipated matchup and one anticipated benchmark that's now broken. Chris, you're up.
Darby, I'm looking out for men's gymnastics competing at the MPSF Championships. They're looking for their 21st MPSF title, which would be their 2nd in a row. And of the 20 titles they've won, head coach Mark Williams has won 19 of them. It won't be easy for them, though, as they're going to face Stanford, Cal, and Air Force.
Wow, Chris, 0 for 4 on the day. It's got to be Kendall Wells. She has been so hot all year, and Patty Gasso was raving about her all throughout preseason and the offseason. She hit a home run at LSU, and she hit one today, so she's now 3 away from the freshman record, but she set tonight the SEC single-season home run record. That is just spectacular stuff, Chris. Come on. Terrible showing.
Okay, audience, it's now time to take your pick for tonight's face-off. If you think it's Chris, make some noise. Okay, we got something. Now, if you think it's Michael, let me hear it. After a slight win, I think it's Michael for tonight. Well, thank you so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. Good night, everybody.